Still good morning for us in New York.
For 12 years, South African reporter Sherwin Bryce Peace has had the interesting job of explaining America and U.S. politics for his nation-state broadcaster from his base in New York. 2020, however, is posing a new storytelling challenge, with a pandemic and an election that even for many American journalists is a tough task. But Bryce Peace says the difficulty is universal.
The truth deficit that we've encountered with this White House, whether it's from the president's medical team post his COVID-19 diagnosis or just on any other day, you're not getting the facts necessarily from this White House. So we also always have to sort of put it through a prism. What has the president said, and is it actually true? And this complicates the life of a journalist here.
About sending their kids to school.
His election coverage focuses broadly on the presidential race and on U.S.-Africa relations. He believes his audience prefers Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden in this race, largely because of Biden's connection to former President Barack Obama and for Biden's vice presidential pick, Kamala Harris. Also, he said President Donald Trump's disparaging comments about Africa have made him unpopular on the continent. In Johannesburg, retired U.S. diplomat turned writer Brooks Spector also tries to make sense of American politics for a South African audience in the Daily Maverick newspaper. This poll, he says, has taken him to some strange places in his column.
About a month ago, I wrote a column which urged for international monitoring groups to check the American election to help keep it honest, straight, and free and fair.
His is not an isolated opinion. The African Union has even suggested an election observation mission to the U.S., a plan that does not appear to have materialized, though smaller teams from individual African states are reportedly planning their own observation missions. In that way, says analyst Liesl Loh-Vaudrin, this poll could also influence how African nations behave in the future.
There's a paradigm shift, more than even a mind shift, in a sense that African countries and governments always feel, on the back foot when it comes to everything, governance, even the responses to COVID-19. And what we've seen this last 6 months is that actually even the developed nations have been struggling. Their systems of governance are also under threat.
Bryce Peace says this is an important time to be covering the U.S.
I mean, this is a strange moment for the United States, and I think we need to recognize that. I mean, the fact that you are questioning the electoral process of this shining city on a hill really does give a lot of people pause. And I think also the militarization of American society, the fact that there are such prevalence and of weaponry and guns and ammunition in this country, we've seen a spike in that in various states since the rhetoric around the fraudulent nature of this election. I don't know how America comes out of this. The question is, what kind of leadership will you have post November 3rd? I think that will be determinative of where we go here.
Wherever that is, Africa will be watching, and so will Bryce Peace. Anita Powell, VOA News, Johannesburg.
It's going to be very, very difficult if you have hundreds of supporters who essentially